What is the best strategy Africa can take in current negotiations on climate change?
Climate change is one of the most recent, but also one of the most urgent problems facing Africa. It is a continent which has contributed perhaps least to the problem, but which will suffer disproportionately in coming decades. A two-track strategy is necessary. Donors such as JICA and African countries must work together on specific climate change projects such as meteorological programs, reforestation, and desertification. At the same time, climate change affects virtually every aspect of our lives, and so we must also include this issue in a variety of other programs. Millions of African children, for instance, need help in their education, and more attention to the environment and climate change should be introduced into the classroom. Improved agriculture is vital to Africa's future, but a vital component of any agriculture advancement must take into account climate change and environmental considerations.
World leaders in Davos issued a call to action on the Millennium Development Goals. How would you evaluate progress, and what is the key to achieving these goals by 2015?
Some encouraging progress has been made already in areas such as maternal health, education, and poverty reduction. However, Africa remains the world's poorest continent, and formidable challenges remain. One key to reaching 8 goals by 2015 is a concept we have developed in the last few years called human security. It is a simple idea which recognizes that the people we are trying to help, individual villagers and local communities, should play a greater role in both planning and sustaining projects aimed at improving their lives. Just as importantly, individual sectors such as education or health care cannot be treated in isolation. All of these major sectors must be interlinked and interconnected in a cross-sectoral approach if we are to help Africa achieve the Millennium Goals.
What are the partnership priorities for Africa's economic development?
A recent economic summit in Japan, which attracted some 100 African countries, donors, international agencies, and NGOs, set some of the priorities we need to follow. A more vigorous public-private partnership must be developed. In other words, governments will cooperate far more closely with the private sector to help accelerate Africa's economic growth. Two main types of development should be more fully integrated and complement and strengthen each other. On the one hand, you have major projects such as transcontinental roads and ports to give Africa a vibrant infrastructure. But this kind of development must go hand in hand with grassroots projects in areas such as education, maternal health, and job creation. My own agency, JICA, is already strengthening ties not only directly with African nations, but also with other donors and international institutions such as the World Bank to more effectively help Africa. And in recent years, the continent has recognized that it may have lessons to learn from Asia's own economic miracle of recent decades, and it is beginning to cooperate more closely, both with Asian governments and Asia's private sector, to transfer some of Asia's successful ideas to Africa.